before I take the congressman. So I'm going to put you on hold. You don't have to hold on, but I don't want to cut this conversation with you short because I do want to ask you about Minnesota. Okay, just hold on here. We'll take a break. Congressman Jimmy Petroni's on the other side. This is Will Commodore.
This is your time to shine. Dare to believe. Be inspired with Joel Osteen. Healing, breakthroughs. Talk to Joel and Victoria live.
The messages of healing really helped me, and I feel like God was with me the whole time.
And hear weekly services live from Lakewood. Relatives in heaven, those that have gone before you, they are...
Have a little bit of red wine poured in a coffee. After midnight, we gon' lay all day down. After midnight, we gon' chug like and shout. The devices. Say I miss you.
Oil at $100 a barrel, and you have a sense that the AI stock market sell-off is happening a little bit because, like we've been saying to you, this is going to affect truly everything. Not just the sell-off, I mean the AI revolution. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. This is also why timing the stock market is virtually impossible. For those of you out there who look, if you miss the wrong days, the number of people who say, hey, I'm going to sell, and you get out at the exact right time, and then you buy back in at the exact right time is very difficult. It's hard to predict the future. Nobody
can do
exactly.
It. Nobody can do it efficiently, yeah.
Over time, you're going to get 9 or 10% if you just stick to the S&P 500, right? So I do think there's a little bit of an echo, and some of you are way smarter on AI than either Buck or myself are. Some of you probably are in the data center business. I do remember reading back in the day, the safest company to invest in was Global Crossing because you didn't have to pick the winners of the internet. You didn't have to know back in 1999 that Amazon.com was going to end up being the Leviathan that it did, this Goliath that took over so much of retail in all facets across the world. And you could just buy the infrastructure. And you end up buying the infrastructure, the cost of compute for the internet collapsed. But do you remember? It used to be kind of expensive to get on the internet. You would get certain hours of time when you got those discs from AOL. You had a certain amount of time that you could actually be logged on to the internet and your hours, and then you had to buy more. And now, I mean, I don't even hear anybody talk hardly at all about what it costs to get on the internet. It is comparatively very affordable. Remember how long it took to download a picture? Now you can download, 3-hour movies almost instantaneously.
The internet, what people thought was going to come from the internet, I would say circa 1997, 98, right around there. What they thought the internet was going to do, generally speaking, was correct. But it really took, depending on what you're talking about, 10, 15 years before it was seamless, ubiquitous, and all of that happened. And so that the investment front ran the reality. And there could be some of that right now with AI, with these data centers. There could be some of that right. Remember, Elon is trying to build, he's doing so many things, the data centers in low Earth orbit.
Yes.
So everyone's saying, well, how are we going to keep these things cool? Well, if they're in space, guess what? They're going to be cool. And I mean, temperature-wise, not just like, ooh, wow, nifty.
Which again, I think it has the potential to really kind of, look, you want my optimistic? This is my take. You guys can steal it if you want to be optimists. It's the equivalent of
Thanks
chess.
for the follow.
Remember when it was a big deal?
Live
You'll
back.
remember this. I don't know how much you played
Sean.
chess when you were a kid.
Oh, I was a little chess nerd. I wasn't very good, but I liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah, my kids, we got them all trained in chess. I think it's a good way to kind of get your brain working. it was a big deal when the computers were going to become smarter than the best human. When was Deep Blue, I think, was the first computer program that was able to win, able to beat.
Bishop Knight 6.
What has happened is chess is more popular than it's ever been in history. And computers are infinitely better than humans. What really people want is the full extent of human excellence, not to watch two computers compete against each other in chess, right? And so I think humanity arguably can become even more important in an AI age because ultimately humans want to connect with humans.
I mean, and really for all of you, if you own a small business or you work at a small business, if you do work out of your home, you do things, whatever industry you're in, everything from farming to trucking, plumbing to like accounting, everything is going to have. There are going to be inputs here that affect these things. And just to hear Clay,
the deal with me, man. Busy as ever.
Give people a sense of what is right now. What are things from AI that can help all of you listening? I mean, now.
Oh, no worries, man.
Years,
it was a short one.
Like, is AI going to cure this type of
I
cancer?
sat around for most of it.
That'd be amazing, right?
I was just finishing doing the books for the bar.
Could affect in a positive way all of you.
I just had to run out here and do something real quick.
For people, so office workers, freelancers, business owners, everything gets faster. Everything becomes, you can find things faster, you can order things faster, you can distribute things. That's one thing. Personalized AI tutoring and accelerated skill building, the skill set that you can develop from having an AI online tutor for a whole range of things is pretty incredible. Going to be able to give you everything from singing lessons to coding lessons to teaching you about ancient Babylon, healthcare interactions and access play. I think this is really wonderful.
Got yet another new mount for the camera. Hopefully this one works out better. It's a magnetic one, so
I wouldn't go into radiology.
It's not vibrating near as much, and it's removed all the blocking, so you're not seeing anything on the screen from the mount itself.
I mean, you're probably going to have radiologists kind of overseeing the AI tools, at least for a 5 to 10 year stretch, I would say. But
tried it on the dash with this one first, but
I told you I've done this. I put my blood work.
When it's here, it's not getting the sun so bad, so it doesn't overheat as easy. It overheated quick on the dashboard. So
it knows more than my doctor. I hate to say that, but I'm just being on my doctor. My doctor doesn't sit there for 30 minutes and answer every question that I want before I'm being shooed out of the room. It's a better customer service experience, and then reduced cognitive load and time cost of driving. That's what we talked about with the autonomous driving situation, or
it looks good actually.
Self-drive from Tesla and everything. These are all things that are happening right now, guys. This is going to give you hours and hours of your life back. Use these tools. It will give you hours of your life back, and if you don't use them, your competitors will, and they're free. You can get sort of paid versions, but they're out there. By the way, we got some breaking news we'll hit. That's called the tease bug. The first 4 states of the Democrat primary season in 2028 have been selected. First 4 selected, not the order they're going to go in yet, but the first 4. What are they? We will tell you. We don't do these teasers very often, but that sounds like what we will tell you when we come back. In the meantime, I've got Rapid Radios, and it makes a tremendous difference no matter where you are across the country. You can get a great deal right now on Rapid Radios as well, and you can get hooked up in a significant way. What kind of offer do they have out there right now? Rapid Radios allows you to connect with anyone, anywhere across the U.S.
Hey, Creator Studio, Music Studio, Y Music.
Instantly over thousands of
Welcome.
miles, crystal clear audio, 100% private, 256-bit encryption. No one can listen in. You don't sign a contract. No monthly fee.
Your house, your farmhouse.
Fee. They work nationwide. We've got them. We've let my 11-year-old run around with it. He doesn't have a phone yet. We've also got him in my mother-in-law's house so that she can be able to get in touch with us because she doesn't always have the best usage with her cell phone. So this is
never see a vehicle in the driveway there.
And right now, when you buy 2 radios, you get 1 completely free. You buy 4, you get 2 free. You buy 6, you get 3 free. How do you get hooked up? RapidRadios.com/bundle. That's rapidradios.com/bundle. One more time, rapidradios.com/bundle.
Present your pals, Clay and Buck on the iHeart app.
Going out.
Let's go, girls. Hey, I'm Shania Twain. I'm so excited to bring you
Nice.
Twain Radio. You'll hear all the tracks from the new album.
Good for you, brother.
My stories from making record, some of my favorite tracks, and of course, my friends.
So I think it is too. I don't know if there's anybody living there. I mean, a lot of these historical farms and stuff like that still have residents in them.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Visit aquablation.com. Aquablation.com. That's aquablation.com. Visit aquablation.com. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, urinary symptoms, mild pain, infection, or less frequently, urethral or rectal injury, or ejaculatory dysfunction. Aquablation therapy is right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or
For sure, you're on the list though, right?
we have a solution. It doesn't matter
Last
if you're
time we
sitting in
talked
your
about
car
it, I
at
think
work
you
or
mentioned
with your
that.
kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-7962. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. Your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-617-7962. That's 800-7962. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Brenda, what's in your freezer right now? Honestly, steaks from Snake River Farms. Always. It's become a beef you reach for. On weeknights, the weekend, doesn't matter. It's insanely good. Same. Snake River Farms has been doing this for over 5 decades. And unlike others, they oversee the entire process from ranch to table. That's how they get professional every step. This is exactly why Snake River Farms is the only one I trust. SnakeRiverFarms.com.
I missed Robert Govea this morning, so I'm going to play that since it's usually a short show. It's going to be a short stream. I need to check something real quick. See where my numbers are. Oh, yeah, the construction? Yeah.
Happy birthday, producer Allie. She says her 83-year-old mom loves to watch us on YouTube now and says we both have nice hair and can easily sell shampoo. I think that's very true. Okay, let me get you this news,
we're over.
and then we will discuss why it matters.
I might bring you inside with me, actually.
These are the first four
Or at least pause it.
for the
Restart it
Democrat primary
on the laptop.
cycle. Michigan, South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Nevada. All right? It is reported that still the battle over who will be first comes down to South Carolina and Nevada. But look, that is hot off the presses.
Yeah, I'm meeting Bar Bill there.
They wanted one in the Northeast, one in the Midwest.
I'm hungry too, man. I haven't eaten yet today.
So, in no particular order,
I've had my AG1 and my Rise mushroom coffee, but that's it.
What are the big takes? We will tell you, by the way, Hank Coulter joining us at the top of the next hour.
On a live stream, about to get spicy. Send us some of your Coulter questions. We'll throw them out to her in real time. Be nice. Be nice.
Also, breaking news: Buck Sexton's favorite team, the New York
To be a part of their community, and then they hope that their elected leaders can get the job done.
and they think about it from just a 30,000 view because they're not there in D.C. You know, gosh, we've got the House, we've got the Senate.
Yeah, I think about bringing inside there is fucking state trooper there.
You know, and this is
police on the side of the road.
What is on the side of the road?
Police.
I've reported police on the side of the road. Thanks.
It's frustrating. It's a challenge to every one of us that leaves our family to go work in D.C. in order to try to work on issues. But you know, you get into this last
Oh yes, he's a real nice guy.
stretch of
What the fuck was
election
that?
cycle, and
They're a big bug or
dug in because they are focused on making
dragonfly or something.
you know, stray the course, and where sometimes I think work could be done. You know, politics unfortunately ends up becoming the overarching concern that the electeds have, because they may have a primary and they've got to make sure they're playing as hard and right as they can. Sometimes when they play too hard to the right or too hard to the left, there's paralysis. And so I tell people all the time, there's a lot of really good members in Congress. We've got they're loved by their state, they're loved by their districts, and they love this country. And then we got a handful of terrorists that are there for themselves and truly can't help us get any meaningful policy to the president's desk.
Thank you, Congressman. We're praying for you. Please keep up the good work.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time.
Happy Friday. I hope that your week was absolutely outstanding and you're bursting full of energy as we close it out. We've got a great interview today. I'm excited to bring on our friend here in just a moment, but I want to say hello to everybody who's joining us in the chat. It's a lovely day. What's up, Sharpening Man? Celebrating the Friday. Good to see you, Sharpening Man, out there in Texas. We got Sweet Kitten, good morning. Boom Shakalaka, very nice to see you. Jeannie, what's up? Says happy Friday. We love it. Boom Shakalaka. Anyone know how much time Rob has taken off when the baby comes? Yeah, no baby yet. And we don't really know. You know, we're kind of planning on, I think the baby's going to have to sleep. Mom's going to have to sleep. And so we will likely be able to come on here and attend to business, but we'll see. You know, we'll see how long it is. Obviously, we want to take a little time off to enjoy this new creature when it comes. What's up, Mary Paquette? Good to see you. Dark Rogue, what's up? Woodship Bill, amazing. Zone Girl, good to see you. Zone Girl with a couple of questions for our guest this morning. We got Rick D is here. See the Veil is here. What's up, Gene Crane? Waves by Veronica. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. And yeah, no baby yet. People are predicting when it will come. 3 days, 5 days. Clock is ticking, but I'll tell you, Alexis is ready for this baby to come. And so are we. So we're looking forward to it. But, all right, so we've got a great guest. I want to get right to it. Don't want to delay it any further. Let me do a proper intro.
When I was there, the cook was in the kitchen already prepping lunch. And it looks like they got crab rolls. Not like full-size hoagies, but like in hot dog buns. It looks really good.
But let me properly introduce him here in a moment. And then we'll be here. What's up, boys? What's up, Gina Hansen?
Watch, I'll get there and they'll be sold out.
Queen Alaskan in the house. Great to see everybody. All
right,
it's
already 1 o'clock.
Let's get right to it. Make sure we got everything ready to go. Here we are. Imagine being one of the best lawyers in the country. Graduated from Harvard, JD from Georgetown Law, clerked for the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, worked for a top law firm, all before going to the Department of Justice. There, you become a Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General and soon one of the top advisors to the President of the United States. But soon, it all comes under attack. And why?
Hey, Oklahoma.
Not because you did anything wrong.
Yeah, I like hot dogs.
Because your political opponents, and for them, your legal advice is a little too effective for their liking. So they seize the government, unleash the FBI and the feds to raid your home, subpoena you for
I know if I drop that my stream's going on X. I may be able to draw Oklahoma, and he's usually the only one who likes it on X.
Co-conspirators, all for crimes you didn't commit. And then, after years of legal fights and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars are spent in your defense, when you are totally vindicated, when the charges are dismissed and their attacks fail, they go to their friends inside their corrupt institutions and desperately do everything they can to strip away your law license, your livelihood, and your lifelong reputation that you've built. This is exactly what happened to our guest here today, Jeffrey Clark, the man who continues to fight on in spite of this whole of government attack waged against him. And we're glad that he is joining us today to discuss. Mr. Jeffrey Clark, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh,
Well, thanks for having me.
great.
And,
I get to try and merge behind a freaking semi.
If they don't know, you've got a beautiful wife, and congratulations on the baby that was soon.
Thank you so much. We're very excited about it. And thank you for taking the time to hop on here and be brief, because there is a lot that is going on right now. But I know my
No, I love that you pull from so many people's different things. You bring attention to it. I don't get nearly as many notifications as I used to on YouTube, so it's nice when you post stuff there. I mean, a lot of it is stuff I've seen already, but still, a lot of it is stuff that I didn't get the notification or I missed them.
Were bar charges in July of 2022. And I think that they launched those because they thought that...
Jeez, come on, look how slow this guy is fucking speeding up. Speed limit's 70 up here, too.
And lock me into words on a
Man, there's traffic. It's going to be hard to stomp it and get around them.
Or that they could use in the eventual Fonnie Willis criminal proceeding.
So I'm trying to give him a little space so I got some run up.
Right. I think Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade, there's a reason why Nathan Wade is spending 8 hours in D.C. the White House counsel's office or DOJ back in time. And it's because they were coordinating. They were
Virginia Tesla.
How to apply the pressure, when to apply the pressure, what theories to use. You know, the preacher Norm Eisen, who wears many hats. He's got a hat at Brookings Institution. He's got private law practice. He runs the Contrarian. He is involved in some other entity. You know, he's on above the law. Like you name it, he's on MS Now. Like whatever it is he's doing, he's always up to no good. And he formulated a lot of the legal theories here, and then he just pushed them out. The complex RICO case filed is definitely not.
See you, buddy.
Just a product.
What? You guys some.
That was apparent, I think, to anyone who was observant, and to some of the things that happened later. So it's all choreographed. It's being sketched out from behind the scenes. But they decided the first thing to do was to hit me with the bar punch. So it's interesting in that everything has been fended off except for the bar stuff. The bar stuff continues. So I successfully fended off the House Oversight Committee. I successfully fended off the Senate Judiciary Committee, although it's not pleasant to have a whole Senate report from Dick Durbin.
It's bye, dude, so I can go around the street, man. I don't want to turn off my cruise control. Of course, you slow down.
Defeating the January
fucking asshole.
I gave them 0.
You in a hurry or not?
They made noises about trying to pursue me for contempt, like they did with poor Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon, but they never actually pulled the trigger on that. And so, no consequences for the January 6th, effort to destroy a whole bunch of people, and then to feed in their investigation into Jack Smith. And then Fonnie Willis indicted me. That was dismissed because Fonnie Willis was hopelessly conflicted. The status of that is it's just amazing, some of these things, Rob. So the Georgia legislature gave us a right to recover our fees because it was a ridiculous criminal case. And so we have filed fee petitions. And Fonnie Willis moved to intervene so she could oppose the fee petitions. To which my response was, you were disqualified. Like, get out of here. You have no business in whether I recover fees. You're the cause of why I have to recover fees. And The judge, denied the Superior Court judge, trial judge. He denied her permission to intervene, but then she moved for an interlocutory appeal. And to my great surprise, the judge granted that. I understand the theory on which someone should be given an appeal right when they were disqualified from the case, but go figure. Then she goes up to the Intermediate Appellate Court, the Georgia Court of Appeals, and I think they should have just dismissed it quickly, but they've docketed the appeal. So we'll see what they do. And in the meantime, right, just probably more years of delay before I'll actually see my fees back from Fonnie Willis. And then, Jack Smith, he didn't indict me. He only indicted President Trump in two different places, obviously down in Florida, eventually in the documents case, and then in D.C. for his so-called January 6th case. But in his January 6th case, right, he cannot help trying to smear as many people as possible. So I was, if I'm correctly, unindicted co-conspirator number 4. I was in, good company with people like Rudy Giuliani.
Makes me itch.
And I'm described in a way that makes it unmistakable who Jack Smith is talking about, right? Like who's he fooling that I'm, not identified by name? And the press identified me within 5 minutes once the
so 11 o'clock your time, exit midnight
that
mine.
Was eventually dropped against me as well. Just about a year ago, on July 1st, 2024, President Trump won his immunity case in the Supreme Court. And so, the reason why he had immunity is that he consulted with me, and the majority of the Supreme Court said that that's sacrosanct. Like, you can't penetrate into those communications. And it's certainly not, a criminal act. It's something you're immune from for consulting with your officials at the Justice Department. So then we turned around, and at some level, to his credit, Jack Smith then filed a superseding indictment, and he dropped out any reference to it. Now, you would think that with all that, right, no Fonnie Willis, that's gone. January 6th baby, that's gone. No Jack Smith. But the DC bar would be like, okay, we'll drop this. Eventually, I get pardoned too. Nothing phases the fact that President Trump gave me a pardon. That doesn't faze them. The fact that Jack Smith dropped, a potential case against me.
All those early morning ones?
Decisions, and 10, 15 other defenses, they just keep steamrolling. So, about a year ago, I won't take you through the whole process because it's complicated. The DC Board on Professional Responsibility recommended that I be permanently disbarred, and then a minority of members recommended that I only be suspended for 3 years. So very, very kind. But total groupthink, lockstep about the idea that it's a lie if you think that the 2020 election was rigged in some fashion. You can't have a different view about that, or they're going to try to take your license. So where do things currently stand? So as a lawyer, you'll appreciate this. From the very start, I was arguing that it was protected by various forms of immunity. And
half mile? Shit, I got time to get around here.
Protected by forms of immunity, even if the court disagrees, you get an interlocutory.
It's a quick half mile.
Which means that things stop on all of the issues. You don't have to go through a trial. You just go up to the next appellate level, and the next appellate level, and so on, until you eventually finally reach the Supreme Court, and you get to argue that they got the immunity issue wrong, and I'm really immune, right? That whole process should have completed up to the Supreme Court before anyone came into a courtroom to try to give testimony against me. But not according to the DC bar. The hearing committee was like, no.
Is it the big one, the Starship?
So finally, we got to the DC Court of Appeals, which is Article 1 court, which means that its members don't serve for 15-year terms. And they stayed my case because my appeal of the board, because they said, yeah, we're looking at this issue of whether you get an interlocutory appeal right, okay? And there it sat for, like 8 months or something. I don't have the precise figure in my head. Nothing happening. The next thing that happened, but it's a major, complicated thing, is that the Justice Department sued the disciplinary council in DC, his office, and all of the judges of the DC Court of Appeals, arguing that they really have no.
So 4:45 might. Oh no, 6:45 my time.
DOJ, especially a high-ranking one who's giving advice to the president, and that there should be an injunction issued and the declaratory relief issued against, I'll call them the DC bar actors, and that has also heated up. So it's before federal Judge Leon, an Article 3 judge in DC, and my opponents have filed a motion to dismiss DOJ's complaint. And then, like everybody and his brother has piled in, which you might expect as usual suspects, to say that the case should be dismissed. So who represents the judges now? Initially, it was just the general counsel of the District of Columbia, but they substituted that person out. And now it is Elizabeth Freelunger, who was the former Solicitor General for Biden. So we're talking about, the biggest possible guns have been brought in over, the issue of whether little OB keeps his license or not, and over the overarching issue of there shouldn't be a local government official that's like the disciplinary council. And this also might surprise you, Rob. The bar process until you get to the court, it's all volunteers. And in DC, it's not just lawyer volunteers, it's lawyer and lay volunteers. So we have lay people sitting in judgment of my constitutional advice as given to President Trump, which I regard as like truly ridiculous and completely beyond the bounds of what a city government or people acting under the auspices of city government should be able to do. They have a brief from ethics experts against me in supporting the bar process, and they have law professors, and they have former Justice Department officials, you name it. They've come in, and so they've made this a big controversy. One of my lawyers calls it like the equivalent of the legal battle of Gettysburg, because with each passage,
I need my SpaceX stock to go up too. We need success.
The army on either side shows up to the battle, and it's going to go on for a while. So
these jealous billionaires are shorting the hell out of it.
No, that was.
Although it's almost worth buying another share.
Details. We have questions.
They've got it so low right now.
Why is this still such
lower than what I got it at?
And really, who's behind it? Do you think it's the same people that were behind the original kind of onslaught on the 2020
election shot up to
aftermath, like the
200, and then it's gone way down.
Other investigations, other even alternate electoral
119 or something like that.
Kind of fizzled out and gone by the wayside, but they seem hell bent on coming after you, and I think because really you were at the top, you were one of the most effective people who was there fighting against them, and so it's almost like they're trying to make an example out of you, like you're symbolic, and if they can take you out, then it will chill any other lawyers and other kind of action on the right from ever pushing back against them if they can take out somebody of your stature.
Well, that's one you're going to have to hodl for a while. At least it's more active than Rumble was. I sold just about all my Rumble to buy that.
They have plans if Congress
I may get back into it. Rumble's pretty low still.
And/or President Trump, leaves office at the end of his term, that they're going to go after lawyers from this round of the Justice Department for Trump 47. And so, they want to win this case as a result. Right? I think they clearly want to send the message of, okay, this guy Clark fought tooth and nail, right? He got, he is the support of 4 former attorneys general that this whole thing is ridiculous and should be thrown out. And, he has amicus support on his own from impressive organizations and people in very well-written briefs. And, it's now into its 6th year, whether it takes 7 years, 8 years, if at the end of that, after fighting so hard and raising every conceivable legal defense, let's say, God forbid, I ask the Supreme Court to take my case, like John Eastman is gearing up to do very soon from his case in the California bar, and I lose, they're going to say, look, you ex-person at the Justice Department, you have no hope. All ye who travel here, you just realize you have no hope. You should cut a deal now with us. And I think it was all designed to create leverage against President Trump, get people to testify against President Trump. So, they're going to run that same playbook again in 2029, or however soon after that they can get it up and running. And so this case is like the watershed battle. They have to, they have to.
Securities is a different thing.
There's also going to be, once John Eastman files his cert petition, and here at the Oversight Project, we're going to file an amicus brief in his support.
Bonds are generally from the government.
See, a whole bunch of leftist groups, et cetera, show up to try to keep the California result in place.
Usually a set amount of interest on those.
John Eastman. So I think
stocks.
Essentially, one for a government.
You got to be willing to lose money to make money, though.
Lawyer John are the big two, turning point battles for them in this lawfare barfare.
Yeah, then they can establish some precedent and use your cases as a cudgel against anybody else who wants to even think about defending somebody on the right, and refer back to this and say, we beat this guy, you're going to be next if you try anything like this. And it's always been interesting because it's such a brutal attack, and they are vicious. We make a lot of fun of them. We would call them the democracy dorks and things like that, but they've got a lot of artillery. They've got a lot of resources. They've got a lot of money. And on our side, it feels like we're not built up as far as they are with their kind of institutional backing. And the opportunity cost, right? Just the amount of time and effort you have to spend on this, it kind of takes you off the field in some ways. I mean, you're still on the field, you've got a lot of stuff going and fighting back, which is why we're so appreciative of you. But it costs money, it costs time, and it distracts from the other missions at hand, where you can, go respond to some, temporary protected status lawsuit, or some habeas case, or, some other matter that could have a lot of the legal efforts behind it. Instead, we've got to focus on all of these other things just to even stay in the game. So can you talk about kind of the structure of, the right versus the left, and kind of the lawfare apparatus?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
You see and have seen as kind of the main victim of all of this. How outsized is it? And really, what can Republicans do to shore up, on our side of the fight?
Sure. So their apparatus is vast, right? They have many groups, they have Crew, they have the 65 Project, which they put together, David Brock, to chain lawyers on the right and destroy them in their legal communities and make them toxic in their.
The thing is, I'm not really
all things they
a
said,
big trader, right?
Axioms when they launched. They have, I think lots of leftist billionaire money. Senator Whitehouse likes to talk about dark money. And there's a lot more dark money on their side than there is on our side. Let's just talk about Norm Eisen, right? Like, he's getting a paycheck from Brookings, he's getting a paycheck from his law firm, he's getting a paycheck from whatever his private lawfare operation is. He's getting a paycheck from the Contrarian, he's getting a paycheck from FSNL. He's got infinite sources of income. He's got a team of lawyers who can sick on anything. They can do. They actually, Rob, they did two versions in Georgia of a prosecution memo against me before Fani Willis ever indicted me. So they're just trying to do the work and then offload it to the public officials. So that's what they really is kind of a vast network. At this point, what do we have? We don't have very much at all. There were a couple funds, modest, created to help against the onslaught that started in the Biden administration against Trump officials, against private lawyers. I know that the personnel policy operations, which I think was an affiliated entity of conservative partnership.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now, until this deal's done with the bar is over with, I'm not very liquid. So I got a lot of money tied into a lot of different things. I've got a little bit of money to play with, but not the amount that I'm used to being able to plug $1,000 down on something.
Wound up with things like Cassidy Hutchinson, right? because Nessie Hutchinson, she does get pretty good representation from Stefan Cosentino, but they just, that maybe they sensed her weakness of character, like the Liz Cheney's of the world, and the Melissa Farah's of the world, and they went after her. They made her so nervous that she was willing to make up stories against Stefan Cosentino and say that he was giving her bad advice and telling her to lie, or purport to remember, not to remember what she did remember, etc. And then she becomes like their star witness, even though her stories are completely ridiculous and fabricated. I think self-evidently so. But if you don't have some kind of infrastructure on the right to counteract this vast amount of leftist dark money funding, evil lawfare Dr. Frankenstein's like Lemaisin, and then what you're going to get is you're going to get some young people, especially in panic. They just sort of like, what do you want me to say?
Real estate's one thing that we're not making, no one's making more of. So.
And that's very sad. So actually,
dips in the real estate market never last that long.
Ways to try to counter. And in particular, if you look at different models, we want to avoid a model where the really big wigs, right? We're talking about former Trump cabinet officials, or just below that sub-cabinet officials, or other Senate confirmed appointees like me, right? That they're the only ones who sort of have the ability to fight back, right? And look, I got some support, but I also did a lot.
Well, I mean,
my own
thing is, once
grease, right, because of my legal
full control's taken over, there's lots of little improvements we want to do too. So that's all part of
what if, for whatever reason,
part of the deal. That's why we're going for an amount that's a bit above the purchase amount. So.
Infinitely poor, because instead of being able to say, okay, look, I can write this brief, I can do this part of our collective project, lawyer team.
No,
I don't have to
financial
pay
advice.
You outside guys like for everything we're actually doing.
Look at these triple trailers.
We need to have an alternate infrastructure and an alternate ecosystem.
Those are illegal in
Michigan. So we're working on building that, Rob, because we feel that it's very important.
You can have a tandem, but you can't have three.
Because it will destroy the republic, and it is designed to do that, and it is designed to create a one-party monopoly. Make no mistake about that. That is what they're aiming for. And, Norm Eisen was a color revolutionary designer. And he's just brought that system here to the U.S. using the legal system and using the fact that, sadly, there are too many judges who don't really believe in or understand the Constitution or their oath to it, to just tear the system apart and to build up that one-party monopoly. That's his assignment. He's very good at it.
They are good at it. They've been building it for years. Cassidy Hutchinson, we call her clavicle girl here because of her story about Trump reaching across the aisle and grabbing the clavicle of the Secret Service driver. So we lovingly call her that. But you could see it all on display. You could see how she was trying to reach out. The text messages came out. Watched her kind of try to interface with the right. Didn't really find a lot of support. And then slowly but surely be pulled over to the left. And then, of course, become completely commandeered by the left. We watched her testimony. We watched the handwriting analysis. Doesn't look like her handwriting, and the stories that were just made up. But then they almost like this flywheel, like this pipeline, an assembly line almost exists. And she gets a book deal. She's put on The View. So it's even beyond just kind of the legal representation. They will then turn you into a hero and kind of give you a national profile and sell your books and take care of you after the fact. If you serve them, if you operate on their behalf. Same thing that we saw with guys like Peter Strzok or Andy McCabe, right? Go into the FBI.
Why is this guy stopping? It's an express easy pass only.
FBI, and now they're commentators on MS.
Oh, motherfucker.
$1 million settlements and so on and so forth.
It says clearly, do not stop.
Even just the lawfare that's technically happening in the courts and in the briefings, it's this whole kind of landing pad that exists for the people who are good stewards of the Democrat ideology. And it's been building for years. We just covered another, and they do it on the front end, they do it on the back end. We just read earlier this week on the show, a letter by Democracy Docket that was sent over to Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State out there in Georgia, that was essentially threatening him with another lawsuit. He had gone through, read the voter roll list identified 100,000.
Actually, Moneyball is one of my favorite movies with what's his name, with Brad Pitt in it.
To start to validate this problematic list against their own list and disqualify people who are not legitimately on the roll.
Billy Bean.
Nasty letter that came out from Democracy.
The Bean Counter.
The 3 lawyers who signed on to it were from the DSCC, and they were threatening him. You basically can't monitor your list, right? You can't actually even do this work, and it's just this never-ending fight. And we're starting to look at on the right, where are these people, where are these entities that can combat this on the front end? We saw all the settlement agreements that were entered back in 2020 to change the elections, and so Republicans, I think for a long time, have just been caught flat-footed, and it becomes very frustrating. How can you compete with something like that when it's got all of the various elements lined up?
You find a stream to raid. So you got a few people in here. Yeah, there's always some editorial. Let's see, who are we gonna jump to? This guy behind me is right on my rear end. Find a channel 2 raid. Oh, we'll do quartering.
It's in Nepal, and the fact that they're claiming there's 100 of them or hundreds of them. What is going on here? Were we literally just funding this? I mean, I don't even understand. I don't understand.
Of course you don't. Although I like you, you're not the smartest person. All right. Ride the raid over to the quartering and let them know I sent you. Yeah, he is entertaining. Target channel cannot be raided. Oh, he's got his raid turned off. Damn it. Damn it, Jeremy. Usually Asmongold's on right now. He lets me raid him. He turns it off and on. Jeremy does. Bill, LFA, The Dilly Show. That's the left.
Is champion.
Yes.
Los Angeles Dodgers to the White House.
Yeah, I mean, he probably has gotten some trolls lately. Raided him. Yeah. There's a Dilly Show. Dilly. Let's try this one. All right, it's going to go through. All right, let them know over there I sent you. I'll stick around there for a little bit. Might pop back in a bit. Thanks for hanging out. Raid is engaged.
anywhere in the world, no matter where you go. The Dodgers is one of the great brands, and certainly it's been enhanced as long as these two gentlemen were up here.
Yeah, so there you go. And this was pretty cool, in my opinion. I thought this was really cool because, one, the president loves sports, but two, the Dodgers were very respectful of him, and I thought that was fantastic.
World Series MVP Yoshi Yamamoto, boy, did he pitch well. Pitched an incredible Game 6, sending the Dodgers to an unforgettable Game 7. Where's he?
Oh, he's got his work truck.
The president was talking shit. He was talking shit in a good way. He was being really funny. He was trying to get them to say which one of them was better, right? World Series MVP or Ohtani, which is just, first of all, it's just Trump. Like, that's just the way he is. He's like going to get an answer out of you. And then they gave him one of the cool.
Thank you. Wow. Ooh, that looks good.